Welcome everyone to the beginning of chapter 4. Here we are in lesson 4.1.1, and what we're going to start off with is trying to find the connection between representations. What is the connection? We're going to be looking at a tile pattern. We're going to be looking at a rule. We're going to be looking at a table. We're going to be looking at a graph. We're going to be focusing on that. So when you open up your CPM ebook, lesson 4.1.1, you're going to notice that you have 5 tile patterns. You just need to choose one. Choose one to focus on at home, okay? And here's what you're going to do. You'll see these directions in your notebook. You need to extend the pattern by drawing figures 0, 4, and 5. Okay, and we'll talk about how to do that. We're also going to lead up to what does the 100th figure look like. Give as much information as you can. Okay. Secondly, find the number of tiles in each figure. That means how many are there. You're going to show this in a table and in a graph. You're going to try and generalize the pattern by writing a rule that will give the number of tiles in any figure in the pattern. I'll talk more about this once we look at how we're going to write this out. We're going to demonstrate how the pattern grows. Some of you like to do that in color with arrows and diagrams, and some of you prefer to do that in words. And last of all, what connection do you see? Okay, these are the 5 things that we're going to be focusing on. So here's what your work looks like in your notebook. You have this large piece of graph paper towards the bottom half of your page, okay? The first thing that you need to do is you need to think about how am I going to spatially organize this piece, okay? You need to draw figure 0. You have figure 1, 2, 3 on your ebook, but I always think it's helpful to write or draw figure 1, 2, and 3 on your paper. You need to extend it to 4 and 5, okay? You don't know what those look like, but you need to use figure 1, 2, 3 to figure out 4 and 5, and then work your way back to figure 0. You need to figure out how to spatially do that. Can I give you a hint? Don't draw every single square. Break your tile pattern down into pieces and draw a big square or rectangle around that piece. Okay? So tile patterns, you need to extend the tile patterns. You are also responsible for a table. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's figure numbers. Then you need to tell me how many tiles are in each of those figures. Then you need to create a graph. Notice our graph is only one quadrant. We're only dealing with the positive numbers. Okay? You have all this room to do those things. Now, once you have the figures, the table, the graph, then you can begin to think about, okay, how is it growing? How is this part growing? How is this part growing? How is this part growing? Okay? And once you figure out how each part is growing, maybe you can create a rule. Now, some people here in class have been writing their rule y equals. That's pretty hard to do. If you don't think you can do a rule y equals, maybe you just focus on writing the rule in words. This part is growing like this. This part is growing like this. This part is growing like this. That is completely acceptable. Then, once you know how the rule is working, how it is growing, I need you to come up with the 100th figure. You're going to use all this information, and maybe you draw the 100th figure, a general diagram. Maybe you do the 100th figure in a description, in words. This part would have this many tiles. This part would have this many tiles. This part would have this many tiles. That's up to you. The final thing that you need to do in the description down below is you need to make a connection. What is the connection between all the figures? What is the connection between the figures and the table? The table and the graph. The table, the graph, the rule. You need to figure out, what are we noticing about these 4 representations? What connection is between those four representations: the figure, the table, the graph, the rule. What do you notice about all of them? Okay, that's the key to today. So if you need to listen to these instructions again, that's okay. But these are the instructions for how you accomplish one problem, problem 4-1. Good luck and have a great day.